Greetings. Today there is a full moon in Libra, 12 degrees Libra, and the full moon is exact at 7:11 p.m. Pacific time. Themes of balance, justice, fairness. What is justice? And I think one of the things that is up in our collective thinking is, what would justice really look like? What does accountability really look like? What does balance really look like? What does fairness really look like? And I think this full moon is inviting us to think deeply on this topic. I'm Marina Orms here with your Astro vibe for Wednesday, April 1st, April Fool's Day. Maybe we are all fools. Probably so, right? We all have that fool within us, and the Aries energy that we are in the process of stepping into, beginning to learn more about and embody, is reminding us what it means to be a fool in the best possible way. Brand new beginning, beginner's mind. And when we step into those brand new beginnings, one of the defining features is we don't know how it works. So thinking about that as we step into this Libra full moon, focusing on balance and justice and fairness and what that really means, what that really looks like, because I think that our idea of how we do that itself is changing. And this full moon is inviting us to reflect on what that means at deeper levels, how our notions of balance and fairness might be changing, what's changing about how we view things, what's changing about what we want and what we value with Venus in Taurus. So we are stepping into this Aries energy because Saturn and Neptune, these outer planets, these slow moving background energies, both now in Aries. And we had the Saturn Neptune conjunction on February 20th. It was exact. We also last year had them come very close in Aries. So this is not a one moment kind of thing, right? It's a time frame, a time period we are moving through, and everything is a process. So we are moving through the process of these outer planets going into Aries, joining together in a conjunction. When two planets come together in a conjunction, they speak to each other, they merge. Their energies become indistinguishable from one another. And that's what's happening with Saturn and Neptune. So Saturn, right, is the planet of hard reality, structures, systems, how we operate, what our foundations are, and our infrastructures, and our how we define things, our limits, our boundaries. That is merging with this dreamy energy of Neptune and connecting to the big picture, dissolving into the great oneness of everything without any boundaries or limits. So what happens when those two planets merge, when they become one? And that's what we're finding out. So they leave their imprint on one another, and then they begin to move apart from the conjunction, which is where we are now. And they're not very far apart yet. That's going to take time, but they are starting now to move apart. And so we're moving into not just the very beginnings of understanding what that Saturn Neptune conjunction is going to bring us, what it's going to mean, what that imprint of the two energies merging, how that's going to unfold over time. We're getting used to that, right? We're moving into that. We're also moving into what it's like to have both of those planets in Aries. And like I said, Aries has that energy of the fool, it's naive. It's a new beginner. It doesn't know how things work. It's not mature. It's not it's not something that has been around the block. It's got that sense of wonder of what is here and now to play with, to move through, to work with, to discover. And so it has that excitement and that wonder of that brand new energy, the energy of initiation, of discovering how we can move, what it means to be in a body. If if you're a brand new baby, newborn, and literal or metaphorical. So we're moving into that baby energy, and with both the planet of rules and limits and boundaries and structures, and with the planet of dreams and infinite potential and transcendence and interconnectedness, psychic energy, spiritual energy. So we're moving into brand new beginnings with both energies at the same time and following their exact conjunction where they merge together. So that is the part of the Aries energy we're stepping into. As I've been talking about recently, we also have Mars, the ruler of Aries, still in Pisces. And it will be in Pisces until April 9th. So, even though we're in this brand new baby Aries energy, we're also speaking to that Pisces still, the flow, the oneness, the confusion, the overwhelm, the not knowing which direction to go. So that's like the background. And now you take the Aries sun at 12 degrees and you put the moon opposite in Libra, 12 degrees, because that's the full moon. And Libra is the reflection that is showing us, what does this look like, this Aries energy, when we put it in this reflected space, in this energy of revealing something to us, about how we do the Aries energy, but in partnership, how we do it in balance, in everything from our one-on-one relationships to how we get along with groups, how we get along in the world, how groups in the world get along with each other, how people of different beliefs and ideologies solve problems, deal with conflict, all that stuff is really up. And so I think that with this full moon, what we are doing is we are reevaluating our understanding of what balance and fairness really looks like. And so I talked about it in my video on Sunday in terms of what does balance look like for us in our individual lives, in our self-care, in our daily routines. What is balance? How do we want to reevaluate that? How do we want to rethink the ways that we find balance and what that looks like and what it means for us? But we also have this bigger picture of the world around us and what balance looks like in that bigger picture, given that all of us are in this baby brand new energy of Aries, figuring out how to navigate what we don't yet know, right? What we don't understand yet. And so that recognition that you really don't know, and that is the power to, instead of thinking to let go of that, let that dissolve, right? The Pisces helps that to dissolve, to be released, to let it go, to let go of the places where you think what balance and justice and fairness look like, and other things too, right? All the ways that we get along with one another and within ourselves. So let go of the things that you think you know, because the power is right now, especially the power is in the not knowing. The power is in the recognition that you really don't know. Because when you recognize that you really don't know, I don't know. I don't know the things that I thought I knew. I really don't know. Because when you do that, what are you doing? You're opening yourself to what is emerging that you cannot yet fathom where it's going or what it looks like or what it's possible to create. So, just like when you have a newborn, you know, the newborn is there. It's like, wow, it's amazing. There's this new person here. And at the same time, we can't even imagine who that person is going to be as an adult, what kind of impact they might have, who they might become, what, unique personality and character traits they're going to have. And we just, right? So it's the not knowing that allows us to discover what we haven't seen yet, what's coming. And we can support that just like with a newborn, right? If the newborn needs love and care and nurturing and all of that to become what its potential really is. And so we want to think about how do we give the love and the care and the nourishment to the things that are emerging, the new things, the things we want to create, the new projects, the new possibilities, the new ways that we might get along in the world. And those new possibilities are by definition something we can't see yet. So that's, I think, the message of this full moon is really when you allow yourself to let go of what you think you know, to step into what becomes possible when you imagine new ways of getting along, new ways of being in relationship, new ways of being in society, new ways of imagining fairness, balance, and justice, even accountability. What could that look like in a more fair system, right? What would it look like if we had a system that held people to account, that was more sustainable, that and this is a deep topic, but those are some of the things I'm thinking about. How can we imagine a system that works better, one that is more fair at its foundation? So not just how do we make sure people within the system are held to account, but how do we change the system so that the system is more fair overall, and not just more fair, but more healthy, more sustainable, more modern, right? We have some justice systems that are based in, the systems of laws that are very punitive and not really about healing. And that's what's on my mind. So maybe it gets you thinking a little bit to imagine what would fairness, what would balance look like if it really worked better, if it really worked better for you, for your neighbors, for the greater good, for the wider world. What would that look like to have a world where peace was more of a possibility and not just a thing that we feel like we're always striving for and always losing, this uphill battle? Like, what if it was something we could really create? What if that balance really existed in the world? And it's going to take an imagination, right? It's going to take a new imagination. Neptune in Aries. So those are my thoughts for today. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Marina Orms, and you can learn more about me and find more of my content at transformationalastrology.com. I'm here every day on YouTube with astrology for unshakable self-care, and you can hit the subscribe button to not miss a thing. Thanks for being here, and I will see you next time.